It was a Tuesday morning, the kind where the sky is still deciding whether to turn blue or stay gray. Harold, a 68-year-old retired mechanic, sat in my office with his hat in his hands and a look of quiet determination. "I don't want to start insulin, Doc," he said. "Not if there's still something else I can try." Like many seniors, Harold was doing what he could, walking 20 minutes a day, eating smaller portions, watching carbs. But despite his best efforts, his fasting blood sugar was creeping toward 140 mg/dl, and his A1C hovered at 6.8%. His primary care doctor had already warned, "You're on the edge, insulin is next." But Harold wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. Instead of adjusting medications right away, I asked Harold to try something different. A morning drink so simple it almost felt silly suggesting it. A mix of ingredients he already had in his kitchen: a little cinnamon, a splash of apple cider vinegar, chia seeds, and lemon water. He didn't believe it would work, but he tried it anyway. And what happened over the next few weeks? Well, that's what this article is all about. Because the truth is, science is finally catching up to what many of my patients have learned through quiet persistence. The body still knows how to heal, when we give it the right tools. I'm Dr. Jonathan. For more than 25 years, I've been guiding seniors through the maze of blood sugar management, quietly helping them regain control, feel more energetic, and in some cases, avoid insulin altogether. And Harold's journey reminded me, sometimes the gentlest shifts bring the most lasting change. Aging brings with it a quiet shift, one that often goes unnoticed until it starts interfering with daily life. Around the age of 60, the body begins to process sugar differently. Even if your diet hasn't changed, your body's response to food certainly has. That's because insulin resistance becomes more common with age. Your cells, once quick to respond to insulin's signal, now begin to resist it. Glucose stays in the bloodstream longer. Over time, fasting blood sugar levels begin to creep upward, even in those who've never had issues before. But insulin resistance doesn't happen in isolation. It's influenced by a mix of age-related changes: less muscle mass to absorb sugar, a slower metabolism, increased belly fat, sleep disruptions, chronic low-grade inflammation. All of these factors create a perfect storm, one that makes the body work harder just to maintain balance. And unfortunately, many older adults don't realize their blood sugar is climbing until it's already in the danger zone. Worse, the standard approach is often reactive. Your A1C is high. Let's start metformin. Now it's still rising. Time to add insulin. It's not that these tools don't help, but many seniors tell me the same thing. They wish they had known how to intervene earlier, in a gentler way. That's why I often start with something deceptively simple: the morning routine. What you do in the first hour of your day sets the tone for your blood sugar, your hormones, and your energy. And this is where something as small as a well-designed drink, packed with the right ingredients, can make an outsized impact. So before we talk about Harold's drink in detail, let's first look at why most people are unknowingly sabotaging their mornings with the wrong choices. It's a common belief: if a drink looks natural, it must be good for you. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, especially when managing blood sugar after 60. Walk through the health aisle of any grocery store and you'll see rows of beautifully packaged juices, smoothies, coconut waters, and detox drinks. Many of them are labeled with words like immune boosting, energy enhancing, or natural. But here's the catch: they're often loaded with sugar, sometimes more than a can of soda. Even drinks like orange juice or green smoothies can quickly spike glucose levels. Why? Because they often lack the fiber and fat that help slow down sugar absorption. And for seniors who already face reduced insulin sensitivity, these sudden glucose surges put even more stress on the pancreas. Let's take fruit juice as an example. A single glass of apple juice contains about 24 grams of sugar, the same as 6 teaspoons. Without the fiber from the whole fruit, that sugar hits your bloodstream like a wave. Your insulin levels surge in response, but your aging cells may no longer respond efficiently. Over time, this leads to elevated fasting glucose and the gradual march toward insulin dependence. Even healthy smoothies can be problematic. Many store-bought options contain bananas, honey, dates, and fruit juice, all in one bottle. To the body, that's a sugar bomb despite the marketing label. Now, I'm not suggesting you avoid all fruits or natural ingredients. What matters most is how they're combined when you drink them and what your body needs at this stage of life. This is where Harold's experience becomes so meaningful. His morning drink had no added sugar, no fruit juices, and no artificial ingredients. Instead, it was built around ingredients backed by science, each one chosen not for taste or trend, but for how it could help his blood sugar stay stable. And before I walk you through the exact recipe, let's take a moment to understand why this drink works so well. At the biochemical level, the drink Harold began taking each morning wasn't some miracle potion or expensive supplement. It was a blend of 4 common ingredients, each chosen for its powerful yet gentle effect on blood sugar metabolism: cinnamon, apple cider vinegar, chia seeds, and lemon water. What made this combination remarkable wasn't just the individual benefits, but how they worked together to support blood sugar control naturally. Let's break it down. Cinnamon, the blood sugar stabilizer. Several clinical studies have shown that cinnamon can lower fasting blood glucose and improve insulin sensitivity. One meta-analysis published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that consuming 1 to 6 grams of cinnamon daily significantly reduced blood sugar levels in people with type 2 diabetes. Cinnamon contains compounds like cinnamaldehyde and polyphenols, which enhance the insulin signaling pathway. Essentially, it helps your cells hear insulin more clearly, making it easier for glucose to move out of the bloodstream and into the muscles. But the type of cinnamon matters. Ceylon cinnamon, also called true cinnamon, is preferred for daily use because it's lower in coumarin, a compound that can be harmful in large amounts. Apple cider vinegar, the absorption regulator. Apple cider vinegar, ACV, has been used for centuries as a digestive aid, but modern science confirms its effects on blood sugar as well. ACV slows the digestion of carbohydrates, which means glucose enters the bloodstream more gradually. This reduces post-meal spikes and makes insulin's job easier. In one study published in Diabetes Care, participants who consumed vinegar before meals had 34% lower post-meal blood glucose levels compared to a placebo group. ACV also improves satiety, which may help with weight control, another critical factor for managing insulin resistance. Just a tablespoon diluted in water is enough to see benefits, but it should always be consumed with caution, especially for those with acid reflux or ulcers. Chia seeds, the fiber and satiety boosters. Chia seeds are tiny but powerful. Just 1 tablespoon provides nearly 5 grams of soluble fiber, which forms a gel-like consistency when soaked in water. This gel slows gastric emptying and carbohydrate absorption, flattening the glucose curve after a meal. Chia seeds also contain alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that helps reduce inflammation, a key driver of insulin resistance. What's more, chia seeds support gut health by feeding beneficial bacteria, which in turn improves metabolic flexibility. And because they help you feel full longer, they can prevent the snacking that leads to unstable glucose levels throughout the day. Lemon water, the gentle detoxifier. Lemon isn't just a flavor booster. Its natural acids help support liver detoxification and may improve insulin sensitivity. The vitamin C in lemon acts as an antioxidant, reducing oxidative stress, a known factor in blood sugar dysregulation. When paired with warm water in the morning, lemon helps rehydrate the body after sleep, stimulates digestive enzymes, and prepares the system for food intake. Together, these 4 ingredients form a synergistic blend. Cinnamon makes insulin work better. ACV slows carb absorption. Chia seeds provide fiber and fullness. Lemon cleanses and balances the system. And because the drink is consumed first thing in the morning, before any food, it sets the stage for more stable glucose levels throughout the day. But while the science is fascinating, the real power lies in the results. And for Harold, those results came faster than either of us expected. Harold wasn't someone you'd expect to try a new morning habit. He liked his coffee black, his breakfast simple, and his routines steady. But deep down, he wanted to avoid insulin more than anything. So he gave the drink a chance. Each morning before eating anything, he reached for a glass of warm water. Into it, he poured a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, just enough to give it a gentle kick. Then came half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, stirred in slowly until the water turned warm brown. Next, he added a teaspoon of chia seeds that had already soaked for 10 minutes. By then, they had softened and formed a light gel-like texture. Finally, he squeezed in the juice from half a fresh lemon. The whole thing took less than 2 minutes to prepare. He sipped it slowly while standing by the window, letting his body wake up with something that felt clean and honest. No sugar, no caffeine, just simple ingredients with a purpose. He didn't change anything else in his life. Same morning walks, same breakfast, same medications. But by the end of the first week, something felt different. He wasn't as hungry in the mornings. His usual cravings had calmed down. He felt steady, like his energy wasn't bouncing all over the place. When Harold came back to see me 3 weeks later, his fasting blood sugar had dropped from 138 to 108. His post-meal readings were better too, and for the first time in months, he didn't feel like his body was working against him. "It's strange," he said. "I feel clearer in the head, less tired by 10 o'clock. I don't get that crash anymore." What Harold experienced wasn't magic. It was simply the body responding to consistency, to ingredients that work with it, not against it. And while his journey was unique, the principle remains the same. When you give your body the right support, gently, patiently, it often responds in ways that surprise even the most seasoned doctors. Let's talk about how to make sure you get those same results, and what mistakes to avoid along the way. Now, as promising as Harold's results were, it's important to understand that this drink isn't a miracle. It's a tool. And like any tool, it needs to be used the right way to be effective. First, timing matters. This drink works best when taken on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning. Why? Because that's when your body is most insulin sensitive, meaning it's more likely to respond positively to ingredients that support glucose control. Drinking it after meals or alongside food may reduce its impact. Second, preparation makes a difference. For example, the chia seeds need to be soaked for at least 10 minutes. This helps them form a gel-like consistency that slows down digestion and sugar absorption. If you skip this step and drink them dry, they can draw water from your digestive tract, which might cause discomfort or bloating. Also, go easy on the apple cider vinegar. 1 tablespoon is enough. More than that, especially on an empty stomach, can irritate the lining of your esophagus or worsen acid reflux. If you have a sensitive stomach or a history of ulcers, start with half a tablespoon and always dilute it well in warm water. And then there's the type of cinnamon. Not all cinnamon is created equal. The one you want is Ceylon cinnamon, often labeled as true cinnamon. It's lower in coumarin, a compound that can be harmful to the liver in high doses. Cassia cinnamon, which is cheaper and more common, is fine occasionally, but not ideal for daily use. Some people also experience mild side effects in the first few days, like light nausea or a drop in appetite. These usually fade quickly, but if you're already taking blood sugar medications or insulin, it's important to monitor your glucose levels closely. The drink can enhance your body's natural response, which may require you to adjust your dosage. Always talk to your doctor if you notice significant changes. Finally, consistency is key. one glass won't change your numbers overnight. But one glass, every morning, for 2 or 3 weeks? That's where the shift begins. It's not about intensity. It's about daily rhythm. And if you can build that rhythm into the start of your day, it sets the stage for everything else. Steadier energy, fewer cravings, and a better chance at keeping insulin off the table for good. But how exactly should you fit this into your routine? That's what we'll explore next. What we do in the first hour after waking has an outsized impact on how the rest of the day unfolds, especially when it comes to blood sugar. That's why Harold's new habit worked so well. It wasn't just about what was in the drink. It was when and how he made it part of his life. And the good news? You don't have to overhaul your mornings. Just a few small, intentional steps can go a long way. Start by drinking the tonic within 15-30 minutes of waking up before coffee or breakfast. Warm water works best. It helps dissolve the cinnamon, activate digestion, and make the apple cider vinegar gentler on your stomach. The goal isn't to rush through it. Sip it slowly. Let your body ease into the day. After that, wait about 20 to 30 minutes before having your first meal. This gives your system time to absorb the benefits and stabilize your blood sugar. If you eat too soon, especially something carb-heavy, you might cancel out the effect. For breakfast, aim for something low in sugar and high in protein or healthy fats. Think a boiled egg with avocado, Greek yogurt with ground flaxseed, or a small handful of nuts with cottage cheese. This helps reinforce the steady blood sugar curve you began with your drink. If possible, follow your meal with a short walk, just 10 to 15 minutes. Gentle movement after eating helps muscles pull sugar from the bloodstream without needing extra insulin. Studies show that walking after meals can reduce glucose spikes by up to 30%. You don't need to track every bite or monitor every number. Instead, focus on establishing a gentle rhythm. Wake up, drink the tonic, eat a balanced breakfast, take a short walk. Repeat. Over time, this rhythm becomes self-reinforcing. You feel more in control. You start the day with intention, and perhaps most importantly, you prevent your mornings from working against you. It's a quiet kind of discipline, but as Harold discovered, it's the kind that changes everything. So now that you know what to do, let's step back and look at the bigger picture, and why these small decisions matter more than ever in the years ahead. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are the quietest ones. Harold didn't discover a cure. He didn't follow a trendy diet, spend hundreds on supplements, or turn his life upside down. What he did was simple, almost too simple to believe. He gave his body something gentle every morning and let nature do the rest. And in doing so, he changed the trajectory of his health. I've seen this happen more times than I can count. Patients in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, men and women who felt they were running out of options, begin to reclaim their energy, stabilize their numbers, and avoid medication by choosing consistency over intensity. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you hear the word diabetes or insulin. But here's the truth I wish more people knew. The body still wants to heal. Even after decades of habits, stress, and aging, your cells are capable of responding if you give them the right conditions. This drink may seem small, but it represents something bigger, a shift from fear to empowerment, a quiet decision to take control before the path narrows. Will it work for everyone? No solution ever does. But for many, it can be the first domino, the one that starts a new rhythm, a new relationship with your body, and a new kind of hope. If you're reading this and wondering if it's too late, I want you to hear me clearly. It's not. Try the drink. Give it 2 weeks. Make it part of your mornings. Pay attention to how you feel, not just your numbers, but your energy, your hunger, your sleep. And most importantly, believe that even small things can bring big change. That's how Harold stayed off insulin at 68. And if you're ready, it just might help you too. Because every morning offers a new beginning, and your body, no matter your age, is still listening.